something for youngins who tryna reach goals. And still can't stop, won't stop. Did the puffy with the bob, smell the roses, no capping, not done a lie, baby.
I feel like there is a real problem if you are one personality on your social media page and your TikTok videos. You're real outgoing. You're maybe a little scandalous if you're a young girl. If you're demonstrative, you know what I mean. If you have a big personality on TikTok, and you're a basketball player or any. I deal with the basketball players, but you could play any sport. And then you show up to your sports stuff, your basketball practices, your basketball games, whatever, and you're shy, you're cowardly, you want to hide from everything. There's a big problem with that difference. You need to fix that. You need to clean that up. So if you are really that person on TikTok, if that's who you are in real life, you need to be that person when you show up to your sport. That's going to help you be better at your sport, for one. But two, it's going to kind of force you to get used to being yourself and not trying to fake things or hide things. Now, it could be the other way around. If you're just faking for social media and you're not that person at all, you're actually that shy, cowardly person, then that is bad too, because you're putting a certain message out there about who you are. Then when people see you in real life, they're going to treat you as if you're that person, talk to you as if you're that person, but you're not. So then there's going to be problems there in some way, shape, or form for you and maybe for the other person. Whether it's a parent, a teacher, a coach, a friend, it doesn't matter. You're going to have problems. Then what happens is, as that buildup goes, where you're basically two different people all the time, you end up with mental health issues. So now, there's a lot of ways that what we see going on with that stuff is a direct correlation, in my eyes, to what happens financially. There's a lot of symmetry in financial, the economy in general of the world, and sports and life. And so if you look to, I am no financial, economic, world guru by no stretch of imagination, okay? I'm too young. I got too much other shit that I deal with on a daily basis before I dig into all of that stuff and politics and things. But I have my ear to it, right? Like most people. So what I do know, what most people will know, is that China is now like the financial power in the world. It was Europe at one point, and it was us, and now it is basically China, and then us, and then there's a lot of debate on how that's going to go. But listen to how that's going to matter to sports and how this can matter to your life. In 08-09, when the financial troubles came for America, that's about the same time that social media started to bubble and pop. So people got used to being on social media to make themselves look cool, to make themselves feel good, and that's when a whole lot of faking started. A whole lot of faking, where people wanted to make it look like they lived a certain lifestyle, or make it look like their body or their face or their self looked a certain way, or they want to make it look like they have certain talents or abilities, right? Because that came along. Now, while all that's going up, while your perception is going up, the financial trouble was actually bringing you down, right? So as time goes along and social media gets more, all of that gets more pronounced, that made you miss the time, all the time that you were basically frauding for social media. That was the time you needed to be maybe staying in the shadows a little bit more, or grinding it out a little bit more, or looking at yourself hard in the mirror, taking 5 steps back to take 10 steps forward, and figure out what you're doing with your life, what you're doing with your brand, what you're doing with your finances, what you want out of moving forward and getting older. And so a lot of those people were around my age, who were in the 08-09, who were kind of still in high school, teenagers, early college. But now we're in straight up adult mode. We're fucking damn near old compared to high school kids now. So we missed all of that grind work time. Our perception was off. We were spending more time on bullshit than we were on real shit. And now mental health issues have come along. Financial issues have gotten you deeper, right? And so how does that relate to your sport? Because sports took a little bit longer, but it's really at the same point now. So now during that frauding time, right? We're gonna say that China, China, they were doing their thing. They were doing all of that grunt work. They were doing the grind work, making the smart moves while we were bullshitting. That's why they rose up in power, right? So you guys like to say him a lot, right? That's popular. It's popular to be him. China is him. When it relates to your sport, now if people have gotten so hard in all the frauding in their sports, faking it, making it look like they really work out, faking it, making it look like they're really passionate about their sport and their craft, faking their ability, posting crazy trick shots or crazy, talented things in one clip. You might be able to catch the ball a certain way, catch a football a certain way, but when you actually get in the game, you can't run routes, you're soft, you can't catch running up the middle, shit like that, right? People went super fraud with sports and how it looks, while the China is the real him. The kid out there who is really him. When he was doing all the grunt work, really working out, really caring more about his value as a basketball player instead of how it looks as a basketball player on the internet, on social media. That kid is going to get everything that you thought you wanted when you first set out, when you were a young child, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, when you wanted to be an NBA player. And then social media came along and allowed you to start frauding and lose sight of what you needed to do to actually become that NBA player. Now, maybe the guy who's really him, who's really going to be that guy, maybe he doesn't get to the NBA, but he's going to get more out of basketball than you get out of basketball. And then when you get into adulthood, we'll say adulthood is like college, right? Maybe you do get to go play college basketball and it's going to smack you straight in the fucking mouth because really you were just a TikTok basketball player with some talent but never matured into a real valuable basketball player. You're going to get pushed out of that program, you're going to quit, or you're going to sit the bench for 4 years, something like that. Most kids aren't even going to get to that point because of all that frauding that they did. Instead of putting in that grunt work and really becoming him, they just told everybody they were him because of 4 highlight clips in one game that you happen to put up and then claim that you're him when you really don't live like that. You really don't do that. And so you're gonna get older, your basketball career is gonna be over, and then the same shit that got you in basketball trouble is the same shit that's gonna get you in financial trouble. And that is a big issue within society in general, but it's an easy way to look at it when you look at finance or financial life and sports life, because parents and kids always try to act like sports is just sports, and we know it is fucking not. We know it's not. So until these things are able to match up, you're gonna have trouble in your sports life. You're gonna have trouble in your regular life that when you move forward in whatever career you have going on or whatever financial issues are gonna come up in your life. So you cannot be one person on social media and another person when it comes to real life. If you want to be a part of Rel Academy, you want to come here and train, go to relacademy.com to learn more about it and inquire. You can shoot a call or a text to 412-660-4790. We love to get you to the academy and get you to experience what we do here.